Welcome, everyone, to the Electrical Isolation Processes Training Safe Work Method Statement session. Today, we will delve into the critical aspects of safely executing electrical work through comprehensive safe work method statements, SWMS. Our focus will revolve around various components, such as preparation for electrical work, site setup and tool usage, working near asbestos, isolation principles, identification and assessment of energy sources, isolation points, risk assessment, planning, safety observer role, confirming and recording phase rotation, lockout-tagout, LODO, proving de-energization, working on de-energized equipment, leaving unfinished work, confirming upon return, restoring power, and records maintenance. Additionally, we'll touch upon low-voltage arc control and conclude with a detailed personal protective equipment, PPE, table. The first page of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, serves as a comprehensive introduction to the project and its critical components. It outlines essential company information and details pertinent to the site we are currently engaged with. The SWMS identifies the high-risk work activities it covers, with a primary focus on tasks related to working on or near energized electrical installations or services. This page is crucial for establishing a baseline understanding of the potential hazards associated with the project. The Scope of Work section provides a clear overview of the tasks involved. In this instance, it encompasses the physical aspects of installing, maintaining, repairing, altering, removing, or adding to an electrical installation. This delineation helps in better planning and execution of the tasks at hand. The SWMS emphasizes the inclusion of additional compliance measures, such as pre-start hazard risk assessment, toolbox talk, and workplace safety inspection. These are integral elements contributing to the overall safety framework of the project. Finally, the responsible person for ensuring compliance with the SWMS is identified as Steve Mitchell, with his signature and contact number provided for quick reference and communication. The second page of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, delves into the fundamental safety practices essential for all personnel involved in the project. The Start Right initiative emphasizes an informal yet critical process where individuals or groups pause to consider potential work health and safety, WHS, aspects before commencing any task. This proactive hazard management practice involves a series of actions: stop, think, assess, review, and talk, ensuring a thorough understanding of the tasks and potential risks. The Stop Right directive empowers every worker to intervene when witnessing unsafe acts or conditions, promoting a culture of accountability and prevention. Additionally, the Pre-Start Hazard Risk Assessment, HRA, formalizes a final review before commencing work, identifying and mitigating any unforeseen hazards. Lastly, the inclusion of life-saving rules emphasizes non-negotiable safety protocols for high-risk activities, reinforcing a commitment to acceptable behavior and preventing harm. Page 3 of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, provides essential notes and definitions crucial for understanding the parameters of working on or near electrical installations. As per AS/NZS 4836:2011, the term on or near is defined when an electrical worker operates within 500 mm of exposed energized conductors or live conductive parts. The definition excludes instances where uninsulated and energized parts are securely shielded, segregated, or protected, ensuring safe work practices. Moreover, for electrical work on energized electrical equipment, Model WHS Regulation Clause 157 outlines strict conditions for its execution. It must be deemed necessary for health and safety reasons, proper execution of the work, testing purposes, or when no reasonable alternative means are available. This aligns with regulations in New South Wales. The page concludes with a visual representation of the 500 mm on or near zone and a 3-meter exclusion zone, emphasizing the importance of maintaining safe distances. Standard tags, personal red locks, and multi-lock devices serve as tangible reminders of these safety regulations, creating a visually comprehensible reference for personnel involved in electrical work. Reference is made to // for further information, ensuring a comprehensive understanding of the guidelines outlined on this page. Page 4 of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, provides crucial insights into the preparation for electrical work, emphasizing the identification of tasks, associated hazards, and comprehensive risk assessments. The document prompts personnel to meticulously identify each task in chronological order, specifying the hazards encountered during each step. The potential risks to health and safety are then outlined, encompassing concerns such as lack of situational awareness, impaired physical or mental capacity, and areas of reduced mobility. Awareness is highlighted as a key control measure, emphasizing the necessity for all individuals involved in electrical work to comprehend the scope of their tasks and the potential hazards. A stringent requirement is set for personnel to maintain adequate physical and mental abilities while working on or near electrical installations. The section further addresses areas of reduced mobility, emphasizing the need for caution when working in constrained spaces and providing examples such as awkward positions, restricted areas around switchboards, and confined spaces. Additionally, it stresses the importance of having a safety observer/rescuer present when working in areas of reduced mobility. The document then explores trafficable areas, addressing risks associated with exposure to electrical sources and people and vehicles. It advocates for the implementation of approved traffic management procedures, barriers, signage, and lighting to ensure personnel safety. Cautionary measures are highlighted for passageways and narrow accessed areas to prevent inadvertent contact with energized electrical sources. Page 5 of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, details critical safe work practices to mitigate risks associated with electrical installations. Identify the safe area of work. To prevent exposure to electrical sources and potential injuries, a designated safe work area should be identified. This can be achieved through the erection of barriers, warning signs, or other approved means. All personnel entering the safe area must be informed of its boundaries and the location of any adjacent exposed energized conductors or live conductive parts. Illumination. To address hazards stemming from poor visibility, work areas must be adequately illuminated for both task execution and emergency evacuation. Protective measures, such as safeguarding lamps against breakage, contribute to a safer work environment. Work permit system. Certain electrical installations may implement a work permit system to regulate access to areas with potential hazards. This system outlines conditions for accessing electrical equipment, electrical or mechanical isolation, the use of safety observers, safety equipment requirements, restoration procedures, and other pertinent matters. Use of tools and equipment. To prevent contact with electricity, conductive items such as tape measures, rules, ladders, and scaffolding should not be used near exposed energized conductors. Insulated tools and equipment, meeting specified requirements and regularly maintained, are essential. As /NZS 1892 provides specific guidelines for ladder safety. Maintain separation from earth. Workers must ensure separation from earth to avoid electric shock. This involves using insulated barriers, mats, personal protective equipment, PPE, insulated tools, fiberglass ladders, and inspecting cable connections for potential hazards. Protective clothing. Appropriate protective clothing worn by electrical workers near exposed energized conductors or live conductive parts must fit correctly, cover the entire body, and be in good condition during work. The selection of personal protective equipment, PPE, should align with a thorough risk assessment, with insulated gloves being preferred. Page 6 of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, outlines critical safety measures related to conductive items and introduces the role and requirements of a safety observer. Conductive items. To minimize the risk of contact with electricity, arc blasts, and other related injuries, workers are prohibited from wearing bracelets, rings, neck chains, exposed metal zips, watches, or any other conductive items while working on or near exposed energized conductors or live conductive parts. The exclusion of such items ensures a safer working environment. Safety observer, triggers and requirements. This section highlights the conditions under which a safety observer is necessary, emphasizing the importance of their presence for certain tasks. Triggers include work areas with reduced mobility, situations where separation from Earth cannot be maintained, work on high fault level equipment exceeding 20 kA, dealing with existing wiring in aged or poor condition, and tasks involving exposed energized conductors or live conductive parts. The safety observer's role is defined by several key requirements: the ability to warn and stop work if risks escalate, focus on observing a single task at a time, effective communication with electrical workers, competency in emergency response, electrical rescue, and cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. Additionally, the safety observer must be appropriately attired in personal protective equipment, free from known disabilities that could impact their role, and competent in electrical rescue and CPR on energized electrical installations. Page 7 of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, focuses on the critical aspects of isolation and lockout/tagout, LODO, procedures, essential for ensuring the safety of personnel working with electrical equipment. Setup of worksite and using tools and equipment. This section highlights potential hazards related to non-compliance with site safety rules, emphasizing the importance of using the Safe Work Method Statement in conjunction with the General Trade Work SWMS and any other relevant documents. Non-compliance can lead to injuries or fatalities, underscoring the need for a comprehensive approach to safety. Working on or near asbestos-containing materials. Specific hazards associated with working on or near asbestos-containing materials are addressed, including dangers to the public and workers, exposure to asbestos panel and dust, and the associated health risks such as mesothelioma, asbestosis, and lung cancer. The importance of referencing the asbestos SWMS, installing appropriate barriers, wearing PPE, and minimizing disturbance during work is emphasized. Proper disposal of asbestos waste at authorized depots is also outlined to mitigate risks. Isolation principles. To prevent contact with electricity and associated risks, the page emphasizes that work should not commence on or near de-energized exposed conductors and parts until an electrical worker completes a series of crucial steps. This includes positively identifying relevant electrical equipment, isolating equipment from all energy sources, securing the isolation, discharging stored energy, e.g., capacitors, proving de-energization using approved voltage meters, and defining the limits of the safe work area. The use of insulated gloves is recommended as an additional safety measure. Page 8 of our Site-Specific Work Method Statement, SWMS, elaborates on the identification of electrical sources, equipment, isolation points, and the significance of risk assessments in maintaining a safe working environment. Identification and assessment of electrical sources, equipment, and isolation points. To prevent inadvertent operation and mitigate the risk of electric shock, arc blasts, and flash burns, a test before you touch approach is emphasized. This involves checking labeling, wiring schedules, drawings, and confirming by switching where appropriate. The importance of positively identifying electrical equipment, avoiding the use of control circuits as isolation means, finding alternative power supplies, and ensuring unobstructed access for electrical workers is stressed. Safe work practices, including proper switch operation techniques, are highlighted. Conduct/confirm workplace risk assessment, HRA, and secure area. To address potential hazards like electric shock, arc blasts, and flash burns, a thorough workplace risk assessment is vital. This includes identifying tasks, appointing competent personnel, qualified licensed electricians, or instructed persons under supervision, inspecting the work area for potential hazards, reviewing relevant SWMSs and SWP, and confirming the suitability of work processes. Adequate planning and coordination of activities, including consultation with those potentially affected by power disruption, further contribute to a safe working environment. Is safety observer required? This section outlines the conditions under which a safety observer is required, referring back to the details provided in the Preparations for Electrical Work section. If the level of risk exposure is not significant, a safety observer may not be required. The electrical testing SWMS is referenced for safety observer requirements during dead testing. Safety observer instruction, if required. In the event a safety observer is required, the SWMS provides instructions on ensuring their competence and training in electrical rescue and CPR within the last 12 months. The safety observer is then instructed on the planned work process, emergency procedures, isolation points, and the focus of their observing role.